Hello and welcome to another bespoke unit fragrance review. In this video we shall be evaluating Mont Blanc Individuel, a trending and popular fragrance. As with every fragrance review, we shall be using the bespoke unit fragrance formula. This is a pre-filled digital version that we use for all our reviews, but you can download, using the link below, a blank version to review your own fragrances at home. Released by the premium brand known for its luxury pens in 2003, Mont Blanc Individuel has been doing the rounds for some time now. In fact, it gained traction in the last couple of years as a popular and overtly sandalwood but affordable fragrance. In fact, a number of other bloggers and YouTube channels have been raving about this fragrance for some time now. So we were really curious at Bespoke Unit and we wanted to give it a try ourselves. So let's not waste any more time and give this a try. So I'm going to spray on the back of the hand at a distance of what is 75% of the atomizer, as you can see, so that's about here. I'm going to spray twice. That gives it a nice spread, lets it settle and lets it evaporate relatively quickly, rather than getting it really close where you get this really strong alcoholic tone. Well, this is really interesting as an opening. In fact, the first time I tried this, I was overwhelmed. I find it to be really synthetic and, well, overwhelming. It is quite fruity. We have sort of an accord between juniper berries and pineapple. But beneath that we have a little bit of lavender for an aromatic side and some cardamom, which gives it sort of a spicy, warm, rounded body. So I think that kind of summarizes the head quite well. But now we're moving into the heart. We're starting to get a little bit of coriander, some floral notes, so some geranium or maybe some carnation, some aromatic notes such as mint, which is quite fresh, and rosemary, which is sort of this perfect bridge between fresh and warm, but it's still very aromatic. And let's wait for the base. So now at the base I can see what everyone's really talking about. It's overtly sandalwood, it's not very subtle, and it's kind of reminiscent of Original Santal by Creed, as well as Youp, but where Youp is an older fragrance, Creed was actually released 2 years after this. So I'm not going to call it a copycat, although they are very similar. It's not just sandalwood, we've got a little bit of raspberry in there, so it's quite fruity, which is kind of unusual to have a fruity note in the base. And quite musky as well, probably white musk because it's, well, I'm going to say white musk because musk in any case is going to be synthetic. That's the nature of fragrances these days, as musk is illegal to extract naturally. But I'm going to say white musk anyway. I'm going to specify that because this is a very synthetic base. So it kind of, or at least alerts you or makes you aware of the kind of musk to expect. In the way of life cycle, this isn't a particularly, it's very linear in the way the dry down is very sequential. It's not, we don't have these transitional notes that bridge between the different phases. We don't have anything that's particularly tantalizing with its whole evolution. It's very structured and it's quite basic. Overall, I find this to be a very synthetic fragrance, so if you like that sort of thing, fine, but otherwise it doesn't seem to be trying to hide the fact that it is an overall synthetic fragrance. It doesn't smell as premium as maybe it wants to be. And as I really get my nose in there and I really smell the base, I can smell what seems to be a very fatty aldehyde telltale sign of the sort of components they used to make these accords. With regards to Mont Blanc Individuel's Seasonality, this is a fragrance that would do quite well in the mild months, so spring and autumn, because it has this kind of well-rounded bouquet that doesn't seem to sit in any particular spectrum. It's a woody oriental amber because of its musky base and these oriental aromatic notes, but otherwise it isn't something that is particularly warm or particularly fresh. It seems to have properties from both. You could wear this as well through winter, but it'd probably be much less effective during the summer. Other than that, it makes quite a good all year round fragrance. Let's talk about Individuel's Awakened Strength. Generally, this is a very good performer. It gives a very strong protection, as you'd expect from a overtly synthetic fragrance. With regards to the sillage, which is the trail that the fragrance leaves behind you, it's moderate and it seems to perform relatively well, but it's not going to make ladies fall at your feet. The longevity is a decent performer. This is something you'd expect that would last you, say you put it on before going to work in the morning, it would last you until just around after lunch, and then you might get little hints of sandalwood, although they probably lose their overall character. So this is something that if you do spray during the day, I'd recommend that you take one travel atomizer, or at least the bottle, for your lunch break. As I've kind of hinted earlier, the third-party feedback is quite polarizing. You have one camp that's saying this is a fantastic scent, it's a very affordable scent, it's very soft, pleasant, well-rounded, it's a safe choice. But then you have the other side that says, well, this is way too synthetic, it's reminiscent of fabric softener, and how could you really wear something like this? Then again, the side that really likes it, the people that love this, they say it smells like fabric softener too. They don't deny that, but they say it in a positive way, in the way it's a very calming and a reassuring fragrance. Just like having your fresh laundry, you just nuzzle your nose into it and you get this lovely scent of, well, the lavender notes, the sandalwood. It's very comforting. So it's difficult really to say where this fragrance stands. As a fragrance for dating or for romantic occasions, it's not one that's going to wow people. It's not one that's going to really impress. This is something that you'd want to wear just to smell clean and refreshing and to be generally pleasant to be around. My comments on the third-party feedback kind of lead on to the impressions. So here we're talking about the high-level usage thoughts. Firstly, the age range for this fragrance. Now, it's kind of a tough one to really put my finger on. I'd say because of the composition, this is a relatively mature fragrance that somebody in their 30s would best wear. Then again, because it's quite an affordable fragrance, this is something that somebody in their 20s or in their teens, as a student or a college kid, could happily wear as well. This is something that would smell fine at high school. Similarly, it's an all-day fragrance. This is something that, again, I couldn't put my finger on. It just doesn't seem to have such a character that you can really associate it with a time of day. This is something that I'd say is all day. It would be fine during the evening, at night, and even during the daytime. However, this does lead on to my next point for the occasion. I'd say that this is a fragrance that is very workplace friendly. This is something that you'd wear at the office, or you'd wear to school or to university. This is something also that you probably wear quite casually, but I wouldn't want to wear this personally at a formal or romantic event. I'd want something a little bit more special for that. Nevertheless, it is still a strongly masculine fragrance that doesn't seem to be holding itself back. So this is something that if you prefer these really strong, very virile masculine fragrances, this would probably be perfectly adequate for that too. Let's talk about the fragrance's presentation. I'm quite fond of this bottle, although it's not something that I can admire as a work of art. I think that for an affordable fragrance, The bottle is stylish, it's thin, it's quite understated, so it's trying to be quite elegant. We have the classic Mont Blanc ice cap logo on the bottle lid, which comes off with a firm pull. It can be quite hard to remove, others have noted this too. And then we have the atomizer, which is okay. I'm not a huge fan. I think that it doesn't give a cloudy dispersal. It lays it on very thick, and if you do it too close, you have a very, very thick layer on your skin. So this is something you really want to spray at a distance for it to be effective. Similarly with the packaging, I quite like it. I'm quite fond of it. I think it's quite nice. We have an embossed ice cap logo, at least half of it, with a circle, and a very understated Individuel Mont Blanc with a brushed chrome cardboard. This would be a very nice gift. It's very stylish, very modern. This one's got a bit of a dent in it. That's my fault. But otherwise, in terms of presentation, it's fine. It's very good. With regards to value for money, it's very hard to criticize. It's in fact excellent. For 100 milliliters, which is 3.4 ounces, you can expect to pay around $30. If you head to a link below, you'll see our trusted retailers who we recommend, who sell this currently at the best price. Let's conclude this on a positive note. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Individuel. I find it to be too synthetic and too, not cheap, but too harsh and too eager to please. It tries to cover too many bases to really concentrate on a particular audience. So I find that it lacks the character of a unique and interesting fragrance. However, because of its price point, it is a very attractive fragrance for a lot of people who highly recommend it as an alternative to higher end brands. Therefore, I must say that it is something I would certainly recommend to at least try before you buy, and if you enjoy it, then you certainly found yourself a fragrance that is very easy and cheap to wear. My name's Charles Philippe Bowles. That's all from me in this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you have any thoughts of your own. And if you check the links below, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, as well as check out our site on bespokeunit.com and see all the other topics we cover in detail. Until next time, take care.